Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
If I read off a couple of numbers to you, I'm hoping you can help me out. So I'm looking for the Yale 2153 at inch and a quarter length.
Okay.
And then there's, what is that here? 6. Sorry, give me 1 second. Lost my spot here. Maybe 6 pins. And then they've got designated MK, GMK, and CMK, and I'm not quite sure what that's referring to. Does that ring any bells?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, multiple. So master keyed, grandmaster keyed, and construction keyed. It's, you've got to go back to them and say, yeah, we can do this, but you've got to be clear what you want. You can't you wouldn't be able to necessarily just order cylinders with that. You'd need more information from them on the keying system.
Because it's going to be one of those options, not all of them, if I'm understanding you correctly?
No, it could be all of them. There's no doubt.
It can be all of them.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm sorry, they've got all 3 of those listed, so just so I know what I'm going back with, what do I need clarification on exactly?
Well, they are telling you that they want them master keyed, grandmaster keyed, and construction keyed. And you'll have to ask them, of these cylinders, how are they keyed in relationship to each other? I know that we'll have a master. What locks does the master work? What cylinders does the grandmaster work? Assuming they're all construction keyed, the CK part, that would be a discussion with the owner.
I see. All right, that makes much more sense. And then can I just get a quick quote on that, just so I know, because this is due to
what keyway do you need?
When you say keyway, what do you mean exactly?
Well, Yale's got, they've got keyways that go back 100 plus years. So to give you, the answer to the question is about $75 a cylinder. That's the answer. Now, if they give you additional information, that answer may not be appropriate, because if they're saying they want them mastered, grandmastered, construction keyed, you need to know the keyway. And what that means is, you know how the key for your car doesn't fit into your lock on your door in your house? It's a different keyway. That's the only difference. And you've got to find out, what keyway do you want? Because they might ask you for something that $75 doesn't cover.
I see. So maybe ballpark it out. Go ahead.
Or even trickier, they have an existing key that they want you to match. If you were gonna ballpark, I'd probably ballpark $150, assuming it's some sort of a restricted keyway. And then how many keys need to be cut, and all that conspires. It's not a problem at all. It's just, here are the other questions to ask to properly quote something. So you've got part of it, but the rest would certainly have the potential to impact the cost. Or it could be that they don't want any of that stuff. Did you say that there were 6 cylinders?
Yeah. No, not 6 cylinders. It's going to be 6 pins, and it's only 2 cylinders. Okay.
So it's highly unlikely that they're going to want any of the master key, grandmaster key, and change key, unless they have an existing system. If you need 2 cylinders and you want them keyed alike, $75 each, you are covered. But when there's only 2, it's unlikely that they're going to be very sophisticated with it.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. I really do appreciate the info. I'm going to go back to them, these added questions, and see if I can get some clarification. But just the ballpark, I think I'll do the 150.
There's only 2. And you would ask them, probably what I would first ask is, do you have an existing key that you want to operate these new cylinders? And if they're like, no, not at all, okay, then you don't need to ask about keyway. All you need to ask about is, how do you want these 2 cylinders to be keyed? Because there would be no reason to master key them and grandmaster key them at all. because you'll key those cylinders alike or differently. You might introduce a master key into it. You could introduce a grandmaster key into it if this was the beginning of a system. And if it's the beginning of a system, then we have to ask them, okay, how much bigger are you going to grow this system? Because the pins that are used, the way that those cylinders are combinated is based on what's called expansion, key expansion or cylinder expansion, meaning this might be 2 doors for a school district that there are going to be 3,000 cylinders for. So that would be important to know. Or it could just be a strip mall retail build out, and you're like, man, I got a front door and a back door. So it could be that simple. You know what I mean? But these are all things to take into account.
And as long as I've got you on the line, it seems like you know what you're talking about. Just a little more about the project. It's a church it's new construction, completely new. So I don't think there's going to be any existing keyways. So, and it's about, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 doors they've got going in. So in all likelihood, they're going to want those master key together then, is what I'm assuming.
That makes perfect sense. You'd have a master, and then of the total of 7 eventual cylinders, you would then decide how those are keyed. You got 2 keyed alike, you got 3 keyed different, and you've got 1 keyed here, and you got this and that. But you're still covered at $75. The CK part means that it would be construction keyed, meaning when those cylinders show up to the job, there's going to be a key that works them. When ownership takes possession of the property, they're going to insert their key, disabling all prior keys from working. That may not be anything that you need to have, or they might say, oh yeah, we need that, because once we move in, we don't want none of the construction people coming in after us.
I see. And that's probably what their intent is, I would imagine.
Could be. Yeah.
Yeah. And that still would be covered under $75 a cylinder, or would that be an additional cost?
No, that would be included. It's a very simple system to construction key.
Okay. All right. Yeah, perfect then. I think I've got everything I need to go back at them. Thank you for all your help.
My name is Richard. Thank you, sir.
All right. You take care, Richard.
You too. Bye-bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program.